What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Love and Huntsville Marriage. It ain't Love and Huntsville Marriage. It's Love and Marriage Huntsville. Excuse me. Season 1, episode 18. So look, I'm starting to have some real. What's the word I'm looking for? Some real conflicts with this show. But I'm gonna go on and finish this season out. But I don't know. The first scene is Melody and Martell. He's bringing her breakfast in bed, and she was reviewing some papers she had gotten from her lawyer. He came in and asked her what she was looking at, and she told him. She said, I was going over some papers from my lawyer about child custody. And Martell's whole attitude, his face dropped, honey. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, when did you go see a lawyer? She was like, a few weeks ago. He said, well, I hope our money wasn't paying for the lawyer. She was like, our money did pay for the lawyer. She said, look, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how I want to move in this marriage. And I'm exhausting all options, and I'm looking into all options. And, Martell, his ego is just, his ego just can't take it. Like, he just doesn't get it and understand. He think that he can just, smile nice and make her breakfast in bed and just say all the right things, and that all will be forgiven. And he can't understand why she just can't forgive him, and they just move on. And I really think he thought that once she got pregnant, that everything was gonna go back to, like, that was gonna be some sort of magic pill, and life was just gonna go back to whatever it was. And Melody is just not going along with it. Now, the hard part about this scene is we know that they've reconciled. So you know what I'm saying? It's just. So anyway, I mean, so that was the conversation, and Martell's ego is just, I can't. Moving on. Next. So we see Sadark, Maurice, and Marceau. The three of them are going to the doctor. They have decided that they are getting vasectomies, that their childbearing days are over. They no longer want any more children, and they are all gone for a consultation. And it is just hilarious to hear men be so sensitive. And in the grand scheme of things, when a couple, whether it be a married couple or whatever, it is a lot easier for a man to get a vasectomy than it is for a woman to get her tubes tied. Like, it's real. Like you saw in this episode, how quick it is. It's real down, dirty, boom, let's keep it moving. And when I say that Maurice and Marceau are hilarious, and their confessionals, when they do their confessionals together, hilarious. That episode at the cabin where they were acting out like they were like ringside announcers with Martell and Sadark were going. It's hilarious. And they did it again this episode. They're funny. They are really, really funny together like that. But I think it was very informative. I think this was a good thing because, again, I think more men need to understand their options when it comes to vasectomy, and I think more men need to understand that it's a viable option that they should really look into. That's just my thing. And I think a vasectomy is reversible. Yeah, it is. It's reversible. So, they went for the, and they were asking all the questions you would expect a man to answer. All they wanted to worry about was what happens if, my soldier won't stand at attention afterwards, which, the doctor assured them that's not, that's not a common side effect, what have you. The other thing that seemed to be a concern of theirs after that was basically that they would have to wait 7 days after the procedure to have sex again. Honey, Maurice was like, look, I am a newlywed. That's a long time. Marceau was like, 7 what? 7 minutes? 7 hours. But it was good. And I'm gonna just go ahead and knock this whole vasectomy thing, at least the surgery part of it. So they agree to do it. So they come back, and when they come back to have the procedure, honey, Sadark was like, Yeah, I think I changed my mind. I read over the information, and I just think this ain't my time. But Marceau and Maurice end up having it, and you see that the procedure is very easy. What I love about this was men got to the three of them got to understand what women deal with. The part where he had to examine them, honey, and they had to drop their pants, and he had to examine them right there in the. Now that was interesting. I mean, I was surprised he didn't take them into an actual room, but okay. And then when for the procedure, they were in stirrups, and welcome to our world, okay? Welcome to our world. When you gotta lay back there in them stirrups, naked from the waist down. Welcome to our world. But they ended up, but Maurice and Marceau had the vasectomy. They ended up having the vasectomy, so we're going to get to part 2 of the vasectomy later on, but they went on and had it, honey. But I just thought that was very interesting, and that they would share it, you know. I mean, with all the jokes and with everything else, they shared it, and I think it was a good thing, because like I said, I think a lot more men need to think about that as an option. Now, on the other side of town, we had Letitia going to see a speech therapist. We already talked about, she told us about the fact that she's insecure about her speech pattern. Now that she's back in the workforce, and she's a lot more conscious of her southern drawl. I think she said that Marceau calls it a lazy tongue. And, you know, it was even something in school that caused her to not speak up so much. And now that she's, you know, moving into going back into the real world and things like that, it's something she's just a little more conscious about. And so the speech therapist told her, she said, look, you don't have any type of, there's nothing stopping you from being able to speak quote unquote proper language. It's just environment, and you grew up, that's what you grew up hearing. You picked up those patterns. She said, you just have a traditional southern drawl, and it is going to be hard work, you know, for you to learn how to code switch. You know, when you're in a professional environment, you learn how to speak without the drawl. She said, but, you know, it's doable. There's nothing physically stopping you from being able to do it. You just have to learn a different speech pattern. So I thought, again, that was interesting for her to share with us her that struggle that she had, and that insecurity that she had. And that's something that, you know, you don't always necessarily think about, I guess. But it's something that clearly she's subconscious about, you know. Now, the aftermath of the surgery was very interesting, okay? It played out totally different on the two different sides of town. So let's start with Maurice and Kimmy. Honey, Kimmy done dressed up in a nurse's outfit, honey. A sexy nurse, and she said that she is a registered RN. So she said, I very much know what, you know, medically what he needs and how he needs to heal, you know, but she flirting with him because she know he can't have sex for 7 days, so she playing games, you know. She said, I don't want to get you too aroused, you know, I just want you to feel better, but if this is too much for you, I can go put something else on. He was like, you better go on and get you go get you every color they have and wear one every day for me till I get fully healed, you know. But they're cute. And she said, you know, I just want us to have a good moment. She said, we've had some pretty intense conversations over the last couple of weeks, and I just want this to be a stress-free time, you know, let's have a little bit of fun with it, and, you know, while we figured it all out. And so they had a good moment, and it was funny. Maurice told my son, you might want to get changed for the kids get home. She was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I know that's right. You better not be going down there to fix Monster lunch after he gonna come back from camp looking like that, honey. Anyway, but Kimmy was taking care of her man. Now, let me say this. Before I get to the second part of this, I was thinking the whole time, where are their wives? I really was thinking, because we never saw, and I'm not saying we have to be privy to everything, but we never saw this conversation. We never saw any of these couples discussing vasectomies. So it felt like it came out of left field. And then when they actually went to go have the procedure, none of them had their wives with them. And so I thought that was sort of interesting. Now let's find out. Now Kimmy clearly knew what was happening, and she was ready So I don't know if she took Maurice and picked Maurice up and they just didn't film it, or she was at the house waiting for him, but she clearly knew what was going on because she had her nurse outfit ready, honey, and all of that good stuff. Now, on the other side of town, down to the Marceau household, Marceau's mother-in-law is taking care of him because Letitia is not there, but she didn't know what the surgery was for. And he was like, can you please not, he asked Letitia, please don't tell your mom what I'm having the surgery for because I just don't want no issues. Now, at first when he said for obvious reasons, I'm thinking, what obvious reasons? Like, y'all have 3 kids. Y'all don't want any more kids. I don't see what the issue is. But then the mother-in-law, okay, so let me just get to this. So let me just go on and get to this. So Letitia comes home and sees Marceau laid up. And she's like, surgery? What surgery? Because her mother said something about the surgery. She said, what surgery? And she said, your husband came home today, said he had surgery. And Letitia said, from the vasectomy? Now, mind you, he asked you not to say nothing to the mama. So you said that in front of the mama. Then, how the hell did you not know? Like, what do y'all talk about? And at no point in time during the day were y'all texting each other. He didn't say, I made it home safely. Can you bring me an ice pack? I mean, nothing. Like, I'm so confused. Like, while you bullshitting and we sit here talking about Melody and Martell, Marceau and Letitia marriage seem like it's in just as bad a shape. That's not grammatically correct, but y'all know what I'm saying. As the host, their communication is horrible. So Letitia was like, how could you go and have this done without telling me? And he said, we talked about this. She was like, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I clearly didn't know today was the day because I would have been there. She said, well, how did you get there? He said, Martell took, the man you weren't even speaking to 3 weeks ago took you on this, well, not 3 weeks, but the man you wasn't even speaking to was the man who took you here? She said, well, how did you get home? He said, obviously not you. So, while they're having this argument, his mother-in-law is in the hallway listening to the whole thing. So Letitia starts talking about how bad their communication is and how, how wrong everything is, how off everything is. And she was saying how, she said, I don't understand. We just don't spend time together anymore. We're not. And look, Marceau's thing is, going back to last season when he said they had a 5-year plan. And the 5-year plan was that they were going to grind it out, work their asses off, bank up the money so that after 5 years, they could have time to smell the roses a little bit. So in Marceau's mind, he's still on this 5-year grind. Letitia was the one that sort of veered from the 5-year plan. So Marceau's thing is, I'm not understanding what the issue is. Like, what the deal is. What the plan is. I'm working to take care of my family. I don't understand the issue. And so Letitia said, these last couple of months you've been hanging out more. You're not home. I told you that I like flowers and that, I would love to see receive flowers more often. You said you would make it happen, yet and still, I don't have any flowers. He said, look, what you want, flowers or you want the mortgage paid? She said, you can do both. She said, come on, stop it. You can do both. We can afford for you to pay the mortgage and for you to send me some flowers. And for you to come home and eat dinner with us. And for you to play games with the kids. Like, there are things you can do that don't entail money. And Marceau is like, look, I'm not understanding what your issue is. I don't know what the problem is. You're the one that decided to go out and better yourself. And when he said that hit me wrong. That hit me sort of wrong. But anyway, he said, you the one that decided to go out and better yourself. So now you the one that, you got to deal with it. Like, I'm doing what I'm going to do. Honey, why Letitia mama come busting through that door talking about, I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like what you saying. Because by this time, Letitia's crying, honey. You're not going to have my daughter in here. You're not going to break my daughter's heart. She said, you are wrong. And Marceau is like, what? Like, really? Really? First of all, how you just gonna bust up in my bedroom? Second of all, why are you listening to me and my wife have a private conversation? Third of all, and you don't get to have an opinion. And then he looks at Letitia like, are you going to check your mama? Like, you not going to say nothing to your mother? And Letitia really wasn't doing a whole lot to stop his mother. She let her mother go for a good minute, telling Marceau how wrong he was and how he probably, why he want to have a vasectomy. Is he out there worried about getting other women pregnant? Is that why he want to have a vasectomy? And she don't like what she's seeing, and she don't like, and you not gonna break my daughter's heart. You not gonna hurt my daughter. And then finally Letitia was like, Mama, let's go. Mama, let's go. Because they were going at it. I mean, Marceau jumped up, and they were going back and forth for a minute. It was about to go real left. It was, because you could tell, because she said, if you're not gonna do it, it's another man that's gonna do it, honey. Marceau jumped up talking about another man. He said, nah, ain't no another man can do what I do. She said, yes, he can. It's a man out there that can do what you do. He said, nah, can't nobody do what I do. Oh, it was about to get ugly. So finally, Letitia does get her mother up out of there. And her mother tells her point blank, her mother said, look, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, and you are too smart to be unhappy. She said, you're too young to be unhappy. There are plenty of men who can give you what you're looking for. She said, I'm telling you now, I don't want to see you hurt. I don't want to see him hurt you, and I don't want to see you unhappy, and I don't want to see you miserable. You my daughter, and I love you, but I tell you what you can do. You can get a divorce, and you can keep on moving. He don't run nothing. I said, okay, Mama, you better let her know. And, of course, Letitia's crying, and she's upset. And she said, well, maybe we need to go to therapy. Maybe we need to do this and do that because, things just really aren't good, and I'm just not really sure what I want my next move to be. And I said, uh-oh. That's where it begins, honey. That is where it begins. She talking about something. She don't know what her next move, and maybe they need to go to therapy. I said, oh, Marceau, you better figure it out, because things ain't good. And again, how in the world, it wasn't that they didn't agree on the vasectomy. It sounds like they had the conversation and they agreed on the vasectomy. But how in the world do you not know that it's getting ready to happen? Like, the communication is beyond bad. But anyway, we'll see where this goes, honey, because Letitia was very upset. Her mama was not having it. So now we have Sadark and Martell. They meet up for lunch, dinner, something. Come to find out, Martell done got his ass in trouble again, honey. Martell said after he got upset it's always somebody else's fault. He got upset after he had his conversation with Melody, and he went down to the hideaway to blow off some steam. And while he was down there, a woman approached him about building a house. And so he was having a conversation with her about business. And somebody done called Melody and told Melody that he was down to the hideaway with a woman. Melody got mad. She started throwing shoes and clothes at him, honey. And he is further in the doghouse than where he started. He was starting to claw his way out a little bit. Because it sounded like he was clawing his way out a little bit. Because he said we were getting dressed. Sound like they were in the same room getting dressed. So it sounds like... I'm just saying. Because he said that they were together getting dressed. And then she left the room to take a phone call. And when she came back in, she was mad and throwing shoes and stuff. Now... Now Sadark asked him, he said, well, if it sounds really, real innocent, what would make people think if they were watching y'all that it was more going on than just a business conversation? And Martell, I don't know. People just hating on us. People just want to see us break up. Her friends texting her and calling her. People just don't want us to be happy. People just don't want us to figure it out. And Sadark said, he said, well, did y'all leave together? I mean, what happened? Did y'all get in the same car? Now, when he asked if they got in the same car, Martell said no. But when he said, did y'all leave together, at least the way it looked to me, Marceau looked like he sort of hesitated a little bit. And I don't think he ever answered. So I'm thinking, so if y'all got up and left out the restaurant together, and y'all was all bunned up, hugged up in the restaurant or the club or wherever the hideaway is, honey. I mean, what did you think? Especially since the show has come out, people know who you are. That's the other thing Martell said when he was talking to Melody, and she was saying something about why should they stay together or something, and he gave her all these reasons, and then he gonna say, and we the most popular people in Hunstville. Anyway, so Dark is like, look, you must have done something to make people think it's more going on. He said basically, you just need to watch yourself. Like, that the spotlight is on you and that eyes are on you. And so you already know that people are looking at you crazy. You need to get it together. On the other side of town, Melody is talking to her girl on the phone, and Melody is saying, "Look, oh no, ooh Lord, I'm about to forget a whole part of this." So the other thing Martell was complaining about was that Melody puts stuff on social media when they're going through something. She puts these, quotes or these things on Facebook or Instagram, which basically lets people know what's going on. And Sadark was like, "Well, I mean, Melody posts all the time. I mean, that's just what she does." He was like, "Yeah, but she shouldn't be posting our business. She letting people in our business, letting people know what's going on. And the more and more she keep posting about our business, like that's not cool. And I keep telling her to stop." So Sadark and Martell have this conversation, and Martell says, "Well, maybe I should put something on my Facebook. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I mean, maybe I should put something out there." So Martell posts this long ass post on Facebook talking about women don't appreciate the man they have until he's gone. You can't try to treat him right after after he's already gone. And when a man, and he lists this long thing about what a man does when he takes care of his family, and takes care of his kids, and does this and does that, and da 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 da. You should treat him like the king he is and the king he deserves to be. And you can't be mad when you let a good man get away. And I'm talking to all the real good men who take care of their families. Y'all stand up, blah blah blah. So, of course, now Melody is like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" She's on the phone talking to her girlfriend, and she's like, "I cannot believe that he is trying to make this out to be my fault. Like he's done all this great stuff, and, he's the victim." She said, "I'm the one that's endured all of this for all these years, the humiliation and the embarrassment, knowing what he's doing, knowing what people are saying behind my back." She said, "And I have not even begun to embarrass him." She said, "If I posted screenshots and posted information and told everybody what's really happened in our relationship, please." She said, "But the fact that he would go on Facebook and further continue to embarrass me this way," she said, "I'm done." And she ends up having a meeting with the office staff, I guess with the two members of their office staff, and she tells me, she said, "Look, as of today, I am removing myself from Holton Holt. Any conversations, questions, inquiries you need to have answered, you need to refer them to Martell. And I'm done. I'm no longer with the company." And so they asked her, they said, "Well, will he be able to answer the questions you can answer, honey?" She just gave them that smile like, "Hell no, he can't." So then she said, they said, "Well, what about the future? Basically, what's up with our jobs?" And she said, "I can't speak for Martell. I don't know what he's going to decide to do." She said, "But I do have some things in the works. And when I get my stuff, straightened out, and I'm looking for somebody on my end, I will definitely extend the offer to you. And if you choose to come with me, that's fine. If you choose to stay with Martell, that's fine. I'll understand. But, I will definitely be in contact with you guys when I get my stuff together." And so they seem to feel a little bit better about that. But, honey, they were sitting there like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. This was it. This was the last straw." Now, again, this would have been real dramatical if I ain't know they were still together. But, okay, I'm just let that go. Now, what's to the other side of town, Martell is talking to his mother. His mother is sort of reading him the riot act about this Facebook post. And she was like, why would you do that? Why would you put that out there? And, of course, he justified what he did. So then she said, "Are you still out here cheating? Like, what is going on?" He told her no. She said, "Yes, you are. Stop lying to me." And, again, she's your mama. She know when you're lying. She knows when you're lying. And, Sadark said the same thing. Sadark was like, at the end of the day, what it sounds like is that your wife just does not trust you. If she can believe somebody calling her off the street and telling her something you've done over your word, that means that she doesn't trust you. He said, and she clearly doesn't believe that this relationship ended when you said it ended, whether that was 2 years ago, 6 months ago, 2 months ago. She don't believe you. She thinks that whatever's going on is still ongoing. And I took that, the way Sadark said it made me feel like he ain't believe it either. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said it like, basically, don't nobody believe you, bruh. Like, that's how I took how he said it. So then, he talking to his mama, and his mother saying the same thing. She said, "Stop lying. She said, you don't have to lie. She said, but why are you still cheating on your wife? And what Martell said was, again, Martell was like, well, how do you know? He didn't say no. He said, how do you know? She said, because if you weren't still cheating on your wife, y'all wouldn't still be going through what y'all going through. If this wasn't ongoing, if you weren't still bringing stuff to her, y'all wouldn't be going through what y'all going through. And he said, well, I don't think that's true. I think we would still be going through this. Which, again, to me, was an admission that something is going on. You said, I think we would be if... Anyway, that's how I took it. I took it as he sort of admitted to his mama that he was still doing some shit he didn't need to be doing. So then she was like, I thought this review wasn't going to take this long. Anyway, but she told him, she said, you know, why are you cheating on your wife? You need to just come clean. You need to clean up your act, and you need to do right by your wife. But mama wasn't cutting him no cut cards, honey. Mama was laying him out and let him know that she ain't believe him. And he even said, you know, I'm a little embarrassed by the fact that my mother doesn't believe me. The fact that my mother, you know, thinks that I'm a cheater, and knowing that she raised me better than this. Knowing, you know, so he's like, you know, I'm just embarrassed because I felt my mom. And while this is going on, honey, Melody is taking care of business because now she's on the phone with her divorce attorney saying that she's tried. She thinks that it's time for them to move forward and get them papers ready, bruh. So anyway, that's what happened, y'all. That's how it went down. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.